Hi everyone, I'm Daisy Rocha and this is what's happening in Brazil. We start by updating you on the latest news from the country. 9 years after the catastrophic dam collapse in Minas Gerais, communities affected by the negligence of the national mining companies Vale, Samarco, and the Australian BHP continue to seek justice and reparations. The 2015 disaster claimed 19 lives, displaced hundreds of families, and caused severe environmental damage. Despite the recent agreement, many victims argued that it's not enough to address their needs and losses. Legal battles continue in Brazil and England, with significant cases also ongoing in Australia and the Netherlands due to the company's operations and liabilities of Vale and BHP. A recent Bloomberg survey indicates that Lula's government has the second highest approval rating compared to those in Argentina, Chile, Mexico, and Colombia. The survey shows that 51% of Brazilians approve Lula's performance, making him the second highest rated leader among the 5 Latin American nations. The newly appointed Claudia Sheinbaum from Mexico holds the top spot. The Brazilian Federal Police have concluded their investigation in the 2022 murders of indigenous expert Bruno Pereira and British journalist John Phillips. They confirmed that the murders were motivated by Pereira's environmental protection activities in the Vale do Jaguari region. The accused include those responsible for the execution and concealment of the bodies. The case is now moving to the Federal Public Ministry for further action. Pereira and Phillips were murdered in June 2022 while documenting illegal activities affecting indigenous communities in the Amazon. China has donated 50 family farming machines to Brazil through a partnership with the China Agricultural University and the University of Brasilia and the National Association for People's Cooperation. These machines will be tested on farms and at the landless rural workers movement settlements. This is not China's first donation, and the action aims to reduce labor-intensive work, a major concern for rural families, especially women in Brazil's northern eastern region. The Global Alliance Against Hunger was launched at the G20 summit in July. In today's story of the week, you watch an exclusive interview with the Brazilian Minister Wellington Dias, who discussed the initiative and Brazil's goals to eradicate hunger.
Brazil's President Lula proposed in New Delhi, India, that the richest countries, which historically only dealt with the agenda of the richest people, could also work responsibly on the agenda of the poorest, the fight against hunger and poverty. Since Brazil is currently heading the G20, a task force was set up, coordinated by President Lula and Brazilian Finance Minister Fernando Haddad. They're taking care of this part, which is proper to the G20, but also two other critical points: taxing the richest so that there is money for the poorest, and the debit agreement. The high interest debits of the poorest strangle and prevent growth. What Brazil defended and ended up being approved is that we can't work on hunger and poverty separately. And we also have to add the promotion of dignity. Hunger is one step, but if you don't lift people out of poverty, you'll have to support them for the rest of their lives, transferring income, donating food. That doesn't bring dignity. But poverty and hunger can't be solved just with income and food. It needs housing. That's why there is the housing program, My House, My Life.
Brasil quer comemorar e não é 2000.
Brazil wants to celebrate this achievement, and it won't be in 2030. President Lula is taught on me. I want Brazil to be off the hunger map during the current term. So the team here is very competent and dedicated to reaching it. Kaizen, which I coordinate, has 24 ministries integrated with social movements, state governments, city halls, business people, and international organizations. That is many expertises so that we can welcome 2026 having a diploma that says Brazil off the hunger map, reducing extreme poverty, reducing poverty and bringing many people into the middle class.
O presidente Lula tem compromisso.
President Lula is committed to talk with social movements to solve land conflicts, the situation of people camped in life-threatening circumstances, often in places where there is also life-threatening violence. The Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples, the Ministry of Human Rights, the Ministry of Racial Equality, the Ministry of Women's Affairs, and the Ministry of Social Development come into play. We've launched the Food Acquisition Program, basic needs grocery packages, purchasing food from family farmers, Solidarity, Kitchens, and the Milk Program. In other words, whatever someone is going hungry, we have to be together.
Matança em qualquer lugar do mundo.
Killing anywhere in the world receives Brazil repudiation, and more than that, a clear stance in the sense that instead of pouring money into more weapons, money to expand wars, we have to find the investment conditions for peace.
Have you ever thought about watching a movie for free while waiting for the bus? That is exactly what we're gonna show you in our Culture Talk this week. In the city of Belo Horizonte, the Cine Cardume project screens Brazilian short films every Friday at the bus station, free of charge. The initiative aims to broaden the access to cultural productions, especially for those who can get to the traditional theaters.
To democratize access to Brazilian movies and make short movies produced in Minas Gerais and other Brazilian states known among different audiences, the Cardume platform has opened a cinema inside the Belo Horizonte bus station with totally free exhibitions. Called Cine Cardume Rodoviária, the project has occupied the area in the second floor of the public space since September 27th. The exhibitions happen on Fridays in different hours, between 6:30 and 9:30 p.m.
Esses filmes eles tratam muito de temas urgentes.
These films are about urgent issues that need to be presented to the population, so that people can identify with them and have a moment of fun and reflection. This is very important for short movies because they find an audience that fits in very well philosophically and technically. It fits in with people's daily lives. So we want to ensure that watching two movies is part of people's daily lives. I think this initiative was built to make short movies find people and people watch them, and therefore find Brazilian cinema.
The project is also the result of public policies carried out through the Belo Horizonte nas Telas project, funded by the Paulo Gustavo Law. It will remain at the bus station for a year, and 48 movies will be exhibited, with 30% of that number dedicated to productions from Minas Gerais.
Uma sala feita com dinheiro público para retorno.
It's a theater funded by public money to offer something to an audience that doesn't have access to commercial cinemas for economic reasons, and because they are usually in symbolically excluded spaces. A movie theater in a bus station is extraordinary because it's a place of transit, and is a democratic place to a certain extent. It brings together a diversity of people who, despite being in transit, can take the time to watch a short film. Defending Brazilian cinema, watching Brazilian movies, and allowing people to watch national productions is a question of culture. It's a question of entertainment. It's about leisure time, but also national sovereignty. We're talking about our imagination. It's about recovering what is genuinely ours. So I can only celebrate now.
Aqui na rodoviária tem público diário.
We have more than 20,000 people at the bus station daily, and more than 600,000 people stop by monthly. That's a vast meeting place in Belo Horizonte, so why not allow this large audience to experience it? A bit of Brazilian cinema, a bit of national cinema. We like this project, and we've embraced the cause so that we can participate in broadening people's access to culture for all those who circulate in Belo Horizonte bus station.
Did you like the show? So hit the like button and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to receive notifications. We'll see you next week.